We're just at our 50-year mark this year, and we've got have explosive enrollment growth. We're now approaching 60,000 students. We have about 12 million square feet under management of condition space. We were looking for a solution that would help us to optimize the way that we do maintenance, to make our workforce more efficient. We needed data to be able to see how the improvements were taking place. We needed data to be able to to receive actionable information out of the CMMS. We also wanted transparency. I think it's really important that the university know what we're doing and how well we're functioning as we take care of their campus. There's a lot of private enterprise out there that's knocking on our door, wanting an opportunity to take over what they see as an inefficient state operation. And so I think it's really important to not only do the work correctly, but show everybody how we're doing it and how well the job we're doing.
The end game to utilize AiM really is to improve our efficiency and productivities for the organization. This is a big campus with lots of work orders and a lot of people and a lot of need. And really the role of facilities management here at this campus, and especially because it's so large, is to control the work.
From a review standpoint, I was really impressed with AiM's footprint, as they really did cover all of the aspects of the integrated work management system. So they really had the modules and the future deployment mechanism that, for future modules that would allow us to consolidate all of our infrastructure into one software platform. From our original procurement of the software and installation and initial training and deployment, I was really shocked at how easy it was to use. I thought with all the feature sets that we were getting into with this really integrated solution, that it was going to be a taxing endeavor just to figure out how to use it and how to search for things. And I think that was probably my biggest surprise, was the ease of use and the depth of functionality just right out of the box.
I'm familiar with, in my past career, I've used, probably a dozen different CMMS systems, and they've all kind of sort of done the job. When I have encountered AssetWorks, it's much more of a comprehensive and a larger database, so that the data that's collected is robust. It's got a lot of data features in there that you can sort and create different reports based on what the question is.
Another surprising feature was once again how well thought out the platform was. Coming from our previous solution, the system is it's very developed and robust. I mean, anything that we thought about during the original deployment, well, how do we do this and how can we account for this? There was already a mechanism in place that allowed for that. It was just a matter of setting up our data to mimic that structure. In order to help us achieve these environmental commitment goals that we've made, I think using the IWMS umbrella to keep track of the various aspects of work management, space and inventory, utilities, and project planning has allowed us to really keep track of where our improvements have been in terms of an environmental footprint.
To me, that's one of the strongest points of the AssetWorks purchase that we had for us. The biggest impact for us has been the iDesk and the way the users are paperless. So from the very first day of AssetWorks for us, we've been paperless using the iTouch devices. Every maintenance man has his own, and that's the way they receive all their work, and they track their hours, of course, with that. We're planning in the future to use it for more of an assessment type of mode, where we will grade the level of service that we're doing in different areas, especially for the more routine tasks like landscaping and housekeeping.
From a results standpoint, I think that there's a lot of qualitative improvements that we've seen with our processes in general. I think that our staff in general, in using the work management module and the mobile platform, has allowed them to increase productivity. I know from a morale perspective alone, they really do appreciate having an assignment list that's with them at all times, that they are in control of, in charge of.
We're starting to see improvements in one of the big areas, which I mentioned, preventive maintenance. And in the long run, what that's going to do is it's going to give us more reliable equipment. It's going to improve life safety issues. It's going to save money for our organization and other organizations, because we're going to be doing a lot less corrective maintenance, which is far more costly than preventive.
We are now completing our PMs, which was a problem before. Through the planning and scheduling, it allows us to make sure that we get our priority jobs done up front. So we set a goal of 100% PM compliance and completion, and we're at that level now, where we are completing these PMs and getting them done. We're also able to organize what we do with corrective maintenance using the planning and scheduling functionality.
Now having this really robust solution for managing all of our preventative maintenance, we've been able to garner additional insight into what types of maintenance procedures we should be doing based on cost analysis, workload analysis of each one of these preventative actions, and which ones are actually translating into fewer corrective actions within these plants. Our utility plants probably account for somewhere near 40–50% of our utilities for our entire campus. So small savings there actually is a tremendous amount of money.
Through this process, we've been able to discover that about 20% of our buildings actually require about 80% of our time. And so prior to Asset Works, we weren't sure where our hours were going. And now we're able to identify not only on the building basis, but on a room basis, and also by the equipment themselves, track the actual hours going to each piece of equipment. And that helps us make decisions about, when we build new buildings, how to build them differently, how to use different equipment, and how to organize them differently.
From a quantitative perspective, I do think that we're now able to fully track how much work we're doing, which boils down to cost for individual work orders, or cost per asset, or cost per building, cost per utility plant, and that's something that we didn't have before. And so having those numbers now allow us to really hone in and focus on improvements in those areas.